So 2018, pretty good year for me. I set some goals at the start of the year and I was able to accomplish some of them. Some of them weren't met, but they were all pretty big milestones either way. One of the first goals I wanted to get done was to get my driver's license. I got my learner's permit about 6 or 7 years ago, and I just wasn't able to follow up on it, and eventually the license expired after about a year, I think it was. But finally, in this year, I think it was around April or March, one of the 2 months, I was able to actually get my driver's permit back. And I was able to actually follow up on it this time in August. So it took me 6 or 7 years to finally get my license back, and there were a couple of, or not my license back, get it for the first time. I don't know what I'm talking about. It just took. There was a couple of factors as to why it took me a while to get the driver's license, but I will get into that in a bit. The next thing I set was I wanted to get my Power Master 1 A Strange Journey game that's on itch.io up to 200 downloads, and that actually did happen in October. A year and a half after the initial release in 2016. It took some time getting there, but it finally happened. And I'm currently working on the remake of that game, Power Master A Strange Journey MV, using the RPG Maker MV engine. And as for why I'm making a remake of the game I just released, the original game was kind of mixed in terms of art style, and some things just didn't work. There was a game crashing bug upon the initial release, and I just felt like I could do better. There was one major goal I wanted to do, and it just didn't happen. It was get a job, and I tried all year, applied through at least 50 different places, and 5 or 6 of those actually got me an interview, and I went to random interviews that happened elsewhere, and none of them happened. Trying to get a good paycheck so I can support myself and help pay bills with our house, and just felt like so I have something to use, and it just didn't happen. One of the major reasons as for why that was is because of the various health issues that I have. I have Tourette's, autism, I have a weaker bone structure than most people. One punch to the chest will fracture my heart, apparently. I'm not going to test that, but weak immune system. I may appear to be pretty okay on the outside, but on the inside, I'm just like a complete mess. And I'm pretty sure that whenever that comes up in an interview, that is when the interview stops. It's just like, thanks for coming in, but you're too sick for us to do anything with. And I don't know, that it's kind of a pain, really. I mean, I've been dealing with health issues pretty much my whole life, and the Tourette's is very visible, very audible. It's the coughing, throat clearing thing. Autism isn't so much of a problem with me. I've been able to deal with it pretty well. It does affect how I act and think, but I see that as a good thing. I can think differently than most other people would. But there are varying levels of autism, and I have I have a low functioning, or I think that's, I don't know the right term for it, but I can work well with it. Video games have been a major help with that, actually. I've been playing video games since I was at least 2, with the first playing Super Mario 64, and I copied the words, I copied the movements that helped with my motor issues and speech, and I took speech therapy over the years throughout school. And video games just helped me a lot with that. I was able, when I was growing up, I copied video game movements and video game characters and just went along with that. and just kind of affected me how I am. And video games eventually became such a major part in my life that I was actually developing them. With Power Master, I started working with other group communities on Wikis, and I was able to actually gain administrative status on a Super Mario Wiki in 2017, which was, I think, there's a very high contrast. Yeah, I'm out of shot now. Right, well, I got a pretty bad camera, so I'm sorry. When I was accepted to the when I was brought onto the staff team of the Super Mario Wiki in 2017, I think that was the first time I was actually accepted to work with a major community, and it just showed me that I was able to keep going. I mean, I had people to work with, I had projects to work on, and I actually have a role in the community, which is not something that has happened before. It's essentially, it doesn't pay anything, but it's essentially what I consider the closest thing to a job I have. People rely on me, and I rely on others, and we all work together to try and make the Super Mario Wiki as best as I can. And in 2018, I was promoted to have administrator status on Super Mario Wiki, the F-Zero Wiki, the Kid Icarus Wiki, Icaruspedia, and Star Fox Wiki, Lilac Wiki. And now I'm working with various other users, the host wiki site for Lilac Wiki, Griff Kuba, with other wiki admins from Fire Emblem Wiki and WeKirby. I may actually end up getting paid for that by January, so that's a plus. Yeah, I wasn't able to get a job because I'm pretty sure it was mainly because of my health issues. I focused mainly on retail jobs because I helped with my mom run her shop, helped set up her shop until it closed in 2012. And so I wanted to put that experience, as little as it was, to use and avoid anything that had to do with food. So I know working a cook job at like McDonald's or Burger King or whatever is a good, easy job to start with. I should not be around food. So being accepted into the NIWA group of administrators and getting to know everyone and work together on projects, putting the knowledge of video games I have to use, not just play them. Well, I mean, I'm still playing them, but it just made this rut that I'm in a little bit nicer. So, shout out to the NIWA people for helping me out on that. So, with all that, let's move on to 2019. I don't see myself getting a job anytime soon. Not with these issues, and if I try to get a job all throughout 2018, I just don't see it happening. So I'm taking a different approach. I'm going to be using the internet to my advantage here and start with a Patreon. So that'll at least give me, if anyone supports me, it'll at least give me a little bit of money to work with, so I can help with bills and eventually just something to work with until Power Master pays off. And I'm hoping that it does. Power Master Strange Journey MV is coming along pretty well. It's a little slow. I'm the only person working on it, and I got 26 towns. I don't know why I made such a big number to work with on the game, but I stuck with it, so I'm going with it. But my parents both have a job. Pretty much goes all day. My dad has a job that goes all day. My mom is on call which can go all day, and my brother has a job of his own, working down at a local department store. And we're still just barely getting by on payment. We've lost power and water and gas a few times during these since we lived here, since we moved here in 2016, and internet goes down at the end of pretty much every month. Though our internet provider's kind of a jerk anyway, but I am on Social Security, and so that helps. But even with all of that, we still barely get by. Our main priorities are food and keeping the house and the cars, but everything else, we keep losing. So I'm making the Patreon to try and help with that as much as I can, because the job thing is just not happening. But as for Patreon, there's a couple tiers I'm working with. For $1, you can I have a Discord, and for $1 you can get the Patreon supporter role on it. Even if it's just $1, thanks for helping out. I appreciate that. And for $5, you can have your name entered into the credits of Power Master: A Strange Journey MV whenever that releases. I'm hoping for a late 2019 release. Also, at the time of this recording, I am currently working toward a new demo of the game. The demo will have more towns, more playable characters, and more items to work with than the demo build that I have currently up. Or originally, I guess. I don't know. Whenever I don't know how to work with time when you're recording something. Currently, I have the towns of Fora, Bora, Tora, Ora, and the land of Moneo completed. I know those are all very strange town names. They all start with a letter of the English alphabet and just added Ura at the end. I made this game in like 2009, so young guy went with whatever came to his head and went with it. So, but Moneo is big. So, as for land of Moneo, they will the towns that are complete will be signified with buildings on them. If the town doesn't have a building on the overworld, it's not done yet. It hasn't even been started. So, but regarding Moneo, it's not going to be as big as it was in the original game. Because the game crashing bug that I mentioned earlier, I had to. I don't know what actually happened with that, but every time you start off in Fora, and if you left Fora either by way of walking out or warping, the game would crash. It couldn't run Moneo very well. So I don't know why this fixed it, but I released an update the day afterward of everything just uncompiled. You could access all the files, you could access the sounds, and you can access the game data, which apparently made the game work. I don't understand it, but it worked. But it's something I'm trying to avoid. So Moneo is a bit smaller in this game. It's a little bit skinnier. Everything, the squares. So right here, I have a grid line map of Moneo. I don't know if you can see that. It's not very. It's just like a whole bunch of lines. But for the original Power Master game, it was like a 9x9 square of each area. So like this box here would be a 9x9 in the game, but I made it to a 5x5 tile in the remake. So the Moneo is still going to be quite big and a lot to explore with, but it's going to be significantly, or not, maybe not significantly, but a little bit smaller than how it was originally. And I'm going to keep building up the game. Obviously, it's not done yet. So, but if you want a later build of the game, the demo, I got the $10 tier for Patreon will allow you to get a key of the demo when that's ready to go up. I don't know when that is. Again, I'm the only person working on the team. And I'm trying to get I'm trying to at least get one town, maybe two done a month. So hopefully the game will be available for release for Windows, Mac, and Linux by the end of 2019. And because the game is HTML5 compatible, it is also possible that the game could come out for other actual systems. I'm hoping systems like the Nintendo Switch, the PlayStation 4, and the Xbox One. Maybe mobile. I have maybe a bit too big for mobile, actually. It may. I have Patreon set up, so you can go link here, I guess, and there's links there to my Palmaster itch.io game downloads, the Facebook page for it, a YouTube channel, my Discord server, as well as the link to my Twitter that I use for everything else that I do. The wikis and YouTube, whatever. Also, regarding YouTube, it's not working as well for me. I'm planning on moving away from it, but I will still want to share my gameplay experiences. So instead, the hardcore challenges and Let's Plays on my Hardcore Alex channel will instead be done through the Twitch channel that I have, Hardcore Alex 95. I was originally just going to call it Hardcore Alex. That name was already taken, so whatever. All the gameplay will be live and unedited. You can communicate with me. The YouTube videos that I had were edited, so they cut out my Tourette's that I have and just dumb stuff. So that will definitely be visible on Twitch. So I apologize for that. First of all, YouTube's algorithms and policies updates aren't meant for a channel like mine. But I want to keep going, so Twitch seems like the much better option for me to use. The YouTube channel instead will be used as an archive. So even if you miss a stream, you can look back through my YouTube channel and still watch the stream, still watch the video. I'm only maybe like 30 minutes long, so they aren't going to be long videos. But currently I am in the middle of a Tonic Trouble run. Tonic Trouble. So you can turn in for that if you want to. I'm going to keep going out of camera, even though it's very bad for a video, but whatever. And I'm also going to start following a schedule for it. So every Monday and Wednesday from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. Pacific time, you have to do time conversions on your own because I'm terrible at that, will be a gameplay video. But on Fridays from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m., I will be streaming some Power Master development. So if you want to take a look at what goes into making Power Master, you can tune in on that day. I'll be making sprites, I'll be making the world map. Actually, no, I'll probably be done with the world map by that point, but keep improving it. Dialogue. Trying to get, and you can see how it works. Spoilers will definitely happen. It's a live series, so whatever. And yeah. Life events will still happen. Some days I just may not feel very well to work on editing, work on videos. I'd rather probably keep to myself then. And family matters can still happen. So I apologize if a stream just outright doesn't happen. But I hope you people understand. In regards to the wikis that I mentioned earlier, I'm definitely going to keep working on them. I'm not shooting for anything in particular. I'm just working on projects and whatever. I may have to limit the time I spend on them. I'm spending a lot of time on them. So, but I like communicating with people. I don't have the wikis. I usually have the recent changes on Super Mario Wiki running in the background while I'm working on Power Master. But I have the wikis shut down and Discord turned off while I'm doing streaming. So, but other than that, I have it on pretty much all the time, even if I'm not doing anything. I'm watching stuff, so I can always be contacted. I can get emails from my phone if you message me on a talk page or whatever. But I'll be working more with Griff Kuba, learning more about what goes into making a wiki on the server server side of things, and I don't know. I got a whole script here, and I'm just going completely off of it. So whatever. Anyway, The demo build of Power Master, the Patreon page, and the Twitch streams will all be put into effect at the start of January. All the links to everything I mentioned will be in the video description below, and you can check them out. Please check them out. Yeah, I definitely ask for as much support as I can. This isn't going as well as I thought it was. I mean, life, it's not. Things are going slowly, but I've been trying to find a way to make money, and it's just not working. So I ask for support. If you want to help out, and if you do, thanks. So, in conclusion, whether you sat through my ramblings of this entire 20-minute by now video, or you just skipped to the end of it to hear all the short stuff, thanks for watching, and thanks for supporting me over the years through moral support. I've been actually active on internet communities for about 4 years now. Not as long as most people I know, but with my time actually communicating with people, it just made things better. So, with all these changes in place and updates, 2019 should be pretty good. But until I get all that put up and figured out, see you around.